Yes, sir. We are back in action. You already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. Your favorite cousin back. Favorite duo is back in session. I am your host, Cam Silver.
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
And welcome back to the Silver Boys podcast. So, Kyle, it's finally here. The weekend is finally here. The big game is finally here. The big game going down in Vegas is finally here.
It's finally here, man. I feel like we've been waiting more than 2 weeks for it.
I know. Every time, every year, no matter what it is, no matter what game it is, every year it feels like we wait just like a little longer than we're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's here, you could just feel it.
You feel it, absolutely.
You feel it. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Kansas City versus San Fran. There's a lot to go into this, but just to keep it simple, like, what does each team, I guess, have to do to stop the other?
Number one, we got to see San Francisco's defense live up to the name that we've all been giving them, over the course of this season. Because we were, I'm not gonna say like we were calling them like top-notch defense, but they were always in that mix, in that conversation.
Top 5, top 10,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then, but now going back to these last two in the divisional and then in the conference championship games, you're allowing both teams to run for 318 yards, over the course of that 2-game span. Green Bay and then Detroit. So now only think about what Kansas City's going to do to you with Patrick Mahomes' legs, and then you got Isaiah Pacheco too. I think it's important for them to run the ball. Get Christian McCaffrey as involved as possible, like early. And I'm also say, Debo got to do his thing. Brock Purdy got to use his legs as well.
Yeah.
That's what I would say from the San Francisco side. Kansas City. Damn, man. I got them winning just because of 15-1-5. Patrick Mahomes is just that guy.
Yeah.
That he can make all the plays at the right time. Travis Kelce, he gonna eat. There's nothing too much you could really say about that one on that side.
We've already seen them, but yeah, I completely understand where you're coming from. This 49ers defense does have to step up a lot.
Yeah,
like a lot. Like they, going back to the running. Like, what's it called? Green Bay. They were averaging 5, basically 5 to 7, almost 8 yards a carry on them, and then go into Detroit, that's how they punched them in the mouth. They came right out and just ran the ball, and then obviously if it wasn't for those fourth downs, we'd be talking about a different ball game here. But yeah, the 49ers has to come to play, and they have to come to play early. They can't get off to a slow start, especially against 1-5. 1-5 will bury you quickly. You know what I mean?
And Kansas City's defense showing that they can keep you in that hole as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. We have to give a lot of respect to Steve Spagnuolo because he's
probably licking his chops right now.
What he was able to do against Lamar and what I thought was going to be their biggest test is crazy to me because there was basically from that Christmas game, from when Baltimore went off to San Fran. Then on, it just seemed like they were unstoppable. It seemed like they were destined. This was their time to do what they were meant to do. But they know how to flip a switch on. And I was just talking to my dad. I was like, one thing that you guys always taught us was that there's not a switch that you could turn off and on. And even, not just for, middle school, high schoolers, we're talking about for college players and professional athletes. Because we've seen it with the Celtics last year. They tried to flip that switch on. It's hard to do. Something that Kansas City has been able to do time and time again is flip the switch on. But then once it's on, it's on.
It stays on. It stays on. It stays on.
And I've watching the morning shows, one thing that I've come to notice is that we have to stop. A lot of people are hating, obviously Mahomes and them, and it's because everybody wants to get to the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
When in reality, I don't think people are understanding we're going to be here for a while with this, with him.
Yeah.
Like we were with Tom, and with Tom, I know we had our times where, we just didn't like Tom for whatever reason. You know, being a Giants fan, being a Steelers fan, or whatever, just seeing him win too much. But that's how it goes, and you have to appreciate greatness.
You gotta respect it. Yeah.
And one thing I knew I felt myself doing by the time I got to college, because I went to college in the New England area, was I actually did have an appreciation for him because greatness like that is not, it's rare.
You can't overlook it.
You
can't hate on somebody that's putting their blood, sweat, and tears into the game.
Exactly. I can't hate on him. I can't hate on what Pat Mahomes is doing right now. Like, if everyone, so quick to hate and everything because everybody wants to get to the next biggest thing. All right, well, if you want to get to the next biggest thing, first you got to stop the biggest thing right now. You guys put people, the media puts so much onto that, and I almost blame the media for the loss that Baltimore took, that Detroit took, because everybody was piling on.
It was piling on and piling on. It was putting way too much pressure on them.
And then everything that I kept hearing from every broadcast was, especially from the CBS broadcast during that championship game for Baltimore and Kansas City. This is the biggest game in Baltimore history. This is the biggest game at the stadium. This is the biggest game in the stadium. Oh my God, Ray Lewis came out. Oh my God, everybody came out. Oh my goodness, the fourth quarter just started and Terrell Suggs just came out. Don't you think for a team that has never been to a championship is going to feel some type of pressure at some point in time?
Because they got all the stars from that team coming out.
From the team that just won the last big game back in, what was that, 2012? That puts a lot of pressure on you. Mahomes and them don't feel that stuff because guess what? We had just done this last year,
and we've done it for the past.
We've done it for the past 6 years. We've been in this game for the past 6 years at least. So no, you. One thing I want everybody to do. I don't care if you hate Taylor Swift or Patrick Mahomes or Travis Kelce or whoever you don't like on Chiefs on the Kansas City or even with San Fran, just appreciate what you're looking at because it's rare. Especially it's rare to get a rematch in the big game.
It's super rare.
It's super rare.
And the fact that Kansas City has the opportunity to go back to back,
which hasn't been done in 20 years since New England.
2003, 2004.
Exactly.
I was just born, brother.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
right. Come on.
Oh man.
Yeah, come on.
That's crazy because I remember watching both of those big games.
Yeah.
Being in my old house in the townhouse, I remember watching those big games, and like that's what made me realize that I was like, yeah, maybe, that's what made me think back and go, probably should appreciate Tom Brady just a tad bit more because we haven't seen a back-to-back champion since that time.
And the fact that Patrick Mahomes has the opportunity to do that in his sixth season, going on seventh almost, it's like, and he has all the stats. He has all the stats.
He would be the first NFL player to win if they were to win the big game this week. He would be the first NFL player to have 3 championships, 2 MVPs in the first 7 seasons.
And then he's gonna have a Super Bowl MVP if they win. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah. I wouldn't say him.
Who you gonna put it then?
Pacheco.
I could. Oh wow. Yo, Bucky's kids, stand up.
Pacheco. And think about it. If Pacheco were to get 2 big TDs.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah. I think Pacheco would have his hand in that one.
Like what? Like he had 15 carries, 100+ yards.
Yeah. It could be like 15 carries, 100+, 15, 80+ for a TD with a couple through the air. Yeah. Then we're talking. We're talking a whole different ball game.
That's a different ball game.
But I didn't get to San Fran. San Fran, I would say Brock Purdy has to show up. He has to show up. He can't throw no ducks like he did against Green Bay. Christian McCaffrey, not worried about him. We all know what we're going to get out of him. Somebody that I've been, riding high with literally since the beginning of the season. Before that, I could take you back to the Stanford days. I was watching him back then. Kittle. They have to figure out how to get Kittle more involved. It's weird. Some games Kittle's involved, some games he's not. Well, also Kittle is a great blocker.
He's a good blocker.
So they also keep him on the line a lot,
Mhm.
but he has to get involved to really spread that offense out. Then after that, you can start getting the ball to Debo, starting getting the ball to Ayuk, and then even when Jawan Jennings comes in too.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, the biggest thing honestly is just Brock Purdy has to show up. Just don't do too much.
Mhm.
Be the game manager that we know you are,
Mhm.
and everything
Which
like
is
that.
no disrespect.
Which is no disrespect.
Which is
Never,
no disrespect.
never no disrespect,
Mhm.
because what you're doing.
What he has, but we were calling him a game manager, and then he led two comeback drives.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Divisional and conference.
And by definition, the game manager is just don't lose the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I just put the ball in the right spots. That's
Mhm.
all I need you to do. Give Debo the ball when you in that flat when he needs it. Give it to him across coming on the slants. Give Ayuk kids, coming off the post, coming off those curl routes.
Mhm.
Get Kittle, when he ends up breaking the coverage and he just gets loose randomly.
Yeah.
Get McCaffrey
Find
the
him in
ball.
those seams.
Get McCaffrey the ball and in open space and let him work. That's all they need. They need him to do, and essentially, it's what Mahomes does too. Honestly,
I'm honestly really interested to see that Kansas City defensive line versus how it's gonna hold up against
that San Fran O-line.
San Fran O-line.
Yeah.
That's a game in the trenches, brother.
Chris Jones down there with George Kalafdis, who's he has 2.5 sacks. I think the only person that he was behind for sacks is this postseason was Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay.
So George Kalafdis, he's wild.
He is like he's not bad. He's not bad. He's nice.
He's tough.
Nice.
He's tough.
He's nice.
Another one I like on that defense is Trent McDuffie, the
Trent
cornerback.
McDuffie.
He comes up pretty big, like Jerry Sneed, as we know. One thing about those cornerbacks is that they don't give out any separation.
Mm-hmm.
They are hawks.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are glued together with whatever receiver that they're supposed to be on. They're glued together with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see what kind of schemes Shanahan will start drawing out.
Yeah.
To try to get past Steve Spagnuolo. But it's gonna be that's what it's really gonna be. That San Fran offense versus the Kansas City defense.
But then even let's flip it real quick, because now you got Bosa going up against Juwan Taylor, and I'm blanking on other guy's name who gets penalized a lot.
I know
you know who I'm talking about.
I know you're talking about.
Oh my God,
I
just
can't get
read
his
it
name
too.
out. I can't get his name out. And what's it called? And what one of the guys, Joe Dunny, he's still hopeful for this game.
Mm-hmm.
He's there. He's their left guard. So he's still hopeful with a pec injury. So a little compromise, but not all that bad, because obviously they were able to get past Baltimore.
Yes.
But yeah, this is wow. I'm excited for this one. This has been one I've been thinking about basically since Championship Sunday, 2 Sundays ago now.
I got the name. So I wanted to mention Juwan Taylor tied for the most penalties in the game with 8. And then Donovan Smith has 4 over the course of the postseason.
Okay.
That's what I was just wanting to say. Like, I think that's going to be important to watch how San Fran's defensive line is going to go up against that O-line or Kansas O-line.
It was weird because
Smith
didn't get his penalties until the Ravens game.
Mm-hmm.
I think he had 2 back to back,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of them wasn't even that bad of a penalty for them to even call, but they called it anyway. But I like that you pointed that out though, because that's important. And side note, Juwan Taylor, his mom just passed away. So this Super Bowl right here, he's saying I expect a lot better. Yeah, I expect that. I don't expect many penalties from his side.
Mm-hmm.
But usually that's one thing about the Chiefs. They're very, very disciplined, especially around this time.
Time, like when it matters, they know what to do, what not to do.
Yeah. But big time right now.
I love it. I cannot wait. The big game is coming, folks. The big game is coming.
Yes, the big game in Vegas is here. Kansas City versus San Fran. I don't know who you got, but I know who I got. I'm going with 1-5. I'm going to stay with Kansas City, but wouldn't be surprised if San Fran were to pull it out.
Not at all. Not.
But, Kyle.
What's up?
So by the time you guys see this, it's going to be Saturday. It's going to be 2 days removed from the NBA trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
leading up to the trade deadline, it's usually nothing but discussions. But on the day of the trade deadline, which is today, Thursday, we got everything.
This is the day Woj probably makes the most of his money.
This day in free agency in July. Once July 1st hit,
the Woj bombs.
I didn't even get to the office yet.
And it was starting.
And it was starting. I was like, I didn't even write no notes down. But I there's a lot of things going on. So let's start with what happened last night. So the Utah Jazz are sending Simone Fontecchio to Detroit for a 2024 second-round pick. Grizzlies are sending Xavier Tillman to Boston. Boston is sending a 2027 second-round pick via Atlanta and 2030 via Dallas to Memphis. And Boston is also sending Lamar Stevens to Memphis. Timberwolves are sending 2030 second-round pick to Pistons with Shake Milton and Troy Brown from Monte Morris, who was on that Denver team, I believe, last season, if I'm not mistaken. Pacers are sending Buddy Hield to the 76ers for Marcus Morris, Furkan Korkmaz, 3 second-round picks. Jazz send Kelly Olynyk and guard Ochai Agbaji to Toronto for Kara Lewis and Otto Porter Jr. and a 2024 first-round pick. OKC sending Trey Mann and Darius Bertans to Charlotte for Gordon Hayward, and I think another name was added into that trade as well. Sixers trade Daniel House for a 2024 second-round pick via Knicks to the Pistons. Pistons send Alec Burke, Bojan Bogdanovic to the Knicks for Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Evan Fournier, Ryan Arcidiacono, and 2 second-round picks. And the Wizards are near a deal to send Daniel Gafford to Mavs for Rashawn Holmes and draft compensation. Oh, okay.
Crazy. A lot of moving parts.
That was a lot to say.
You did great.
Thank you. Oh, and that Thunder deal, Vasily Micic in draft conversation for that OKC deal that was for Gordon Hayward. Yeah,
I like that one a lot.
I do
actually.
too.
OKC with Gordon Hayward.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Even though we haven't seen much of Gordon, but
just a vet player that like he can still get a bucket if they absolutely need it. And being around those young guys, I feel like they'll get him ways to get involved.
Especially with them being fighting for that number one seed. They're basically gonna be fighting for that number one seed to the end of the season unless they randomly tail off.
Start tailing off.
But I believe that is a great pickup. I like that Xavier Tillman one for Boston. They need a presence down low. Al hasn't been. I was just getting older. Plain and simple. Love Al, but he's just getting older. KP don't bang on the boards like that. He's mainly a catch and shoot 3. He'll get to the basket on you if he can or hit that little fadeaway, but he's mainly just a tall 7-3 shooter basically. I like that one. Brings a little more toughness to that team, which is what they really need after they got exposed last week, especially against the Lakers with no Bron and no AD.
With no Bron, no AD, they just out hustled you and outworked you.
What?
Every time
Boston came down, it was a turnover. It was a turnover or just it was like a bad missed shot. And I was sitting there watching the Lakers and I'm like, how long is this gonna last?
Yeah.
How long is this going to last? But but something that Charles said, they get where they are based off of their talent.
Yeah.
Talent will only take you so far. Granted, they have a good collection of talent, so it does take them pretty far, but it doesn't get them to where they want to be.
Because you're not working as hard as you should be.
Because what happened with that game last week against the Lakers. AD and Bron go out. When they go out, they don't announce that they're out until around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The game is at 7:30. They're already at the facilities. They're already at the arena. Working out, getting their work and stuff like that. So when they hear that, they automatically just dropped it. And they're like, all right, whatever. I think, you know what I mean? That's what happened. Their mentality dropped.
Lakers came in like,
Lakers
hey, we
came
still
in, like,
playing.
we still
it's,
here,
it's
yeah.
still time to go. Let's go.
Yeah,
We fighting for a spot out here in the West.
They wasn't playing no games. And D'Lo, D'Lo's showing himself that he deserved to stay. I think that's what that was. That was kind of an audition, a tryout for all of them.
Yeah.
That was
like, let's see what y'all really about when we're not here.
That was a tryout for all of them. And then they passed the test once again once they seen the Knicks, against the Saturday night. But, another one that I like a lot is the Pacers sending Buddy Hield to the Sixers.
Yes.
I like that one. If Joel can come back, then it's going to be good for them because that opens up a lot of the floor for Joel to work on the inside and also on the outside.
Buddy Hield's automatic.
And Buddy Hield being automatic, exactly. So, the Sixers have a good one on that one. Another one. Oh, bro. The Knicks are stacked.
Knicks, they
stacked.
They making that push.
Stacked. I think they sense it. They sense it. And I said it last week. I said they can mess around. They could push for that number 1 seed. Now, it might not be, obviously before All-Star break with Jalen Brunson being hobbled now because of his ankle injury, no Randall until probably after the All-Star break, more than likely. Mr. Robinson, don't know exactly when he will be back, but the rumblings I'm hearing is that he could be coming back this season. So, I don't know. Let's just say end of March, early April, he comes back.
That would be a very, very big pickup. He needs to come back.
Let's just say that. A full-strength Knick team: Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Bogdan Bogdanovic, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, Alec Burke, Precious Achiuwa, and Isaiah Hartenstein.
Those are people that's gonna bang every night, yo. Every night they coming.
That's 10. In the playoffs, you usually only play 7 to 8. That's a 10. That might be the deepest team in the league right now. Where Coach Tibbs can literally just pick any one of them, and he knows that he doesn't have to worry. You're gonna either get buckets, you're gonna get rebounds, you're gonna get assists, you're gonna get steals. They're gonna play hard defense, which is what you're looking for. Because that's who you are as a coach. These guys have no problem with playing long minutes. I think the only one probably Bojan.
He's probably Bogdanovic.
He's the oldest one, but you don't need him out there for long minutes.
You don't need him. You need him for a bucket stay at the 3-point line, and we're gonna get you open for a couple plays.
And then bring back Alec Burks, which I'm happy about.
He's tough. He's really tough.
He's still a bucket.
Still been tough.
Still a bucket. So this Knicks team is looking very, very good right now. And then even the I know that they're at the end, they're at the bottom of the league right now. But the Pistons, just making the necessary moves
to get where they need to go
later on in the future. Getting a bunch of assets, getting little second round picks, picks here and there, getting the players and stuff like that. So when it is time to go, I wouldn't expect them to get a big free agent or anything like that. But you show promise with Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey is starting to come into himself. Jalen Duren is another great asset that I like for them a lot. Isaiah Stewart is another one too. If they can get a good, a good small forward, a good power forward to round that out, I think that they would be, I'm not gonna say obviously they'll be a force to be reckoned with or anything like that, but we know that they will be tracking along.
And still, you gotta let the you gotta let these guys develop as well.
Exactly.
They're still young men navigating their way in and out the league. New coach in Monty.
Right.
It's just a lot of moving factors.
And one thing about them, even though they lose a lot, but they fight.
It's not like they're getting blown out the water.
Yeah, they fight. You know what I mean? Most of those games on that 30, not 30, was it 30? No, it wasn't 30.
It was 27, 28, 27.
Exactly. That losing streak that they had, that long historic losing streak that they had, they weren't really getting blown out. Most of them were losing by 1 or 2 possessions.
I think so. 2 Sundays ago. Or maybe last Sunday, they beat the Thunder.
Yeah,
Thunder's top team in the West right now.
Yeah.
So it's not like they can do it. They're capable of showing that they have the heart, the togetherness that they need to. You just got to develop and let
Correct.
things like, you know, fall into place where they need to fall into place.
Correct.
And that only comes with time.
And they just beat Sacramento Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is something I was surprised about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're gonna be fine. That's gonna be a team that's always been a team that I've been very interested to go watch play because I do like their collective of talent with Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey and Cade and the rest of those guys. And now they have a plethora of guards in Quentin Grimes, Malachi Flynn, Evan Fournier, and Ryan Arcidiacono. So yeah, this man. NBA, man.
I love
NBA, man.
I
And then
love it.
next week we got All-Star. All-Star weekend.
We getting blessed. I like it. It's going good. I can't wait for All-Star weekend. That'll be a little fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Right after the Super Bowl too, the big game. Excuse me, like that'll be great.
And you also seen what's it called? They're using like the floor for All-Star weekend is gonna be glass.
Yeah,
it's gonna be LED,
LED.
lit up.
Mm-hmm. That was like, whoa! Now what are we doing here?
I already know my mom's gonna be complaining, talking about why they got all these lights and whatnot. I'm gonna have a seizure looking at all of this. I already know. I can feel it. We're gonna be sitting there on the couch. Me and Dad gonna be sitting on the couch watching that shit.
She gonna go right upstairs. Like, I can't watch this.
That's exactly what happens. She sits there, watches it for like a couple minutes, and then she's like, all right.
I know. I'm probably re-rubbing my eyes.
I know, me too.
Be like, hey, wait a minute, guys.
They're gonna be like, that's a Ruffles 4-pointer. Why is the court all these colors?
Are those chips on the floor? Wait a minute.
Why am I doing chips?
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Before we go, like I keep announcing to you guys, after football, college basketball's here. College basketball is right here. And don't look now, but Rutgers has had a couple of good games.
Well, couple of good runs.
Couple good runs a little bit. They just beat Michigan last Sunday. This week I forgot who they beat. They beat somebody else this week too. But they don't look now. They look pretty good. My favorite team is probably UConn. No one right now.
They doing their thing.
No one's really touching UConn, man. Tristan Newton is really, really good. Another team I like too is Tennessee. But UConn has all the makings to do it all over again with Donovan Clingan, and then they have what's my man's name coming off the bench? Singamore. I think it's his name. Singer. I forgot. I don't even know how to say his name. But they have another center coming off the bench. That's another 7-footer that mainly gets most of his points off of dunks and free throws.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big time for them. Tristan Newton is awesome. Cam Spencer, the Rutgers transfer. You guys already know his game. One of the best 3-point shooters in the country. He can handle the rock. He could, he could rack up on assists. He gets the rebounds. He does it all. Alex Caravan, another guy. One thing about this team, they crash. Tristan Newton, their point guard, 6.7 rebounds per game. Cam Spencer, 4.5 rebounds per game. Alex Caravan, 5.6 rebounds per game. Donovan Clingan, 6.5 rebounds a game. Stefan Castle, who's supposed to be he's a big time prospect right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting 4.5 rebounds a game, and they're averaging 38 rebounds per game. So they crash the boards. They know one thing about UConn too, they're precise, bro. If they don't have their first option, they will look for their second, their third, their fourth, their fifth. They are very good at executing.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good at executing, and teams that win it all are very good at executing. And Hurley has himself another team where he can mess around and do his thing again. But that's my little segue into college basketball. We'll get a little deeper. But that's our time for today. I hope you enjoyed just as much as we did. Hey, the big games this weekend. Like we said, we've been excited. We talked about it for like 15 minutes. But till then, you already know what time it is. Watch some good football. It's your host, Cam Silver.
It's your co-host, Kyle Silver.
It's the Silver Boys.